Hey guys, Courtney here. You are about to embark upon a 30-minute power class that focuses a lot on balance and twisting. So the challenge here is twisting while you're balancing. And when I was filming this, I was in a place that didn't have very many level surfaces, so that added an extra element of challenge and exploration for me. So you can try it yourself if you'd like to do that. And that's all. I'll see you on the other side. Have fun. Namaste. Move the flesh away from your sit bones so you can sit solidly in the earth. Grounding all the way down. Palms on your thighs or on your knees. Reaching high through your spine, through the crown of your head, chin slightly tucked. Close your eyes. And begin to deepen your breath. As you inhale, your belly expands. And as you exhale, it falls softly toward your spine. Take inventory of your body right now, any places that might be a little tight, any kind of tension, and send your breath to those places. And with every exhalation, the tension melts, coming into your body. Bring your hands to heart center. And I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. You can dedicate your practice to someone in this room, out of this room, a group of people, a concept, or yourself. Throughout your practice, I invite you to come back to your intention as a source of strength for you. And carry it throughout the day once you step off of your mat, cultivating your intention here. Bow your head to your heart, sealing your intention. Lift your head, flutter your eyes open, and place your hands on your knees. As you inhale, reach your chest to the front of the room, lengthening your spine, gazing up, seated cow pose. As you exhale, straighten your arms, curving your back, leaning backwards, gazing down towards your navel, cat. Inhale, reach your chest to the front of the room. Your hands remain on your knees. And on your exhale, arch your back, leaning back. Take a few more rounds of seated cat-cow to your own breath. With every inhale, you reach forward, your chest opens, your collarbone opens, you gaze up at the sky. And as you exhale, round your spine, gaze at your belly. After your next cat pose, come to a neutral spine. And then come to a tabletop position. So you've got a straight line, your palms are on the mat, straight line between your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders, and your knees are directly below your hips. Take a few more rounds of cat-cow to warm up our spines. Inhale, drop your belly, open your heart to the front of the room, gaze up, and on your exhale, arch your back, pressing through the mat, gaze at your belly. On your next inhale, open your collarbones, open your hips, send your gaze upward. And when you go into cat, press through your knees, press through your palms, all four corners. Take any organic movements you may need, maybe moving your shoulders around, moving your hips, maybe even bending your elbows just a little bit. And after your next cat pose, come to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes and send your hips up in a downward facing dog. Walk out your legs a little bit here. Begin to loosen up your hamstrings, the backs of your shins. Send your heels to the right side of the room, feeling a stretch in your left side of your body. Come back to center, send your heels to the other side of the room. Feel a stretch in your right side of your body. And then return to center. Bend your knees a little bit so you can really straighten your back. And then straighten your legs once more, maintaining your straightened spine. The creases of your elbows face to the front of the room. You're pressing through all four corners of your hands, gripping the mat with your fingertips. Imagine that there's a little bit of space between the mat and your wrists. So see if you can actually even come up a tiny bit. Breathe here. Memorize this place. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Hang here, maybe bend your knees a little bit. Clasp your elbows with your hands, swing back and forth. Allowing your back to decompress. Take your fingertips to the back of your neck, the back of your head, just to have a little bit more intensity in that stretch. If it's too much, go back to your elbows. Honor your body and where you're at. Release your fingertips back to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching the crown of your head to the front of the room, pinching your shoulder blades onto your back, and exhale, forward fold all the way down, belly onto your thighs. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up all the way to standing, gaze up at your fingertips, and exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Your weight is distributed equally between both of your legs. Press firmly, root through each corner of your feet, so four corners of each feet, underneath your big toes, your little toes, and either side of your heels. Draw your tailbone down, draw your belly in, shoulder blades reaching onto your back. And anytime in your practice, come back to this place and reset. Inhale, reach your arms out and up, upward prayer pose, gaze up your fingertips, and exhale, swan dive all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine, creating space, and exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands onto the mat and step back to plank position. There's a straight line of energy from your heels to your hips, all the way through the top of your head. So here you're going to soften your heart a little bit. Draw your belly in. On your next inhale, shift forward on your toes, and exhale with bent arms close to your body, lower down all the way down to the mat, one straight line. Untuck your toes, keep your hands where they are, and inhale your chest up to cobra pose, pressing through your toes. It's going to help you lift. Exhale, come back down to the mat. Inhale once more, lift your heart, open your collarbones, send your gaze up. Imagine that you're pulling your arms alongside your body. Exhale, come right back down. Tuck your toes. Come up through chaturanga to your plank pose, and then send your hips up into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, gaze the front of your mat. Step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come up all the way to standing. Gaze up at your fingertips. And exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Reset. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Gaze up at your fingertips. Exhale, swan dive all the way down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, creating space. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step back to plank or shoot back to chaturanga and vinyasa. Vinyasa is the series of movements where you shift forward, lower down, inhale up into cobra or up dog, and then send your hips to downward facing dog. It's always optional. You can always go straight to down dog. And it's important that each one of these movements has its own breath, and that's up to you. Breathe. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you, lifting through the inside of your thigh, so all of your toes are facing down to the earth. And as you exhale, place your foot between your hands in front of you. Hover your fingertips off the earth just a little bit, feeling your strength through your core, and then inhale up all the way to high lunge. Bend your back knee just a little bit so that you can draw your tailbone down and your belly in, and then re-straighten your leg. Find your stability. Beautiful. Bring your hands to heart center. On your next inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, twist to the right side of the room, hooking your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Stack your elbows on top of each other, stack your shoulders on top of each other, gaze up. Extend your right arm out to the sky, and your left arm comes down, pressing against your shins. Breathe. Use leverage between your arm and your leg to open your heart a little bit further. Place your arms back together. Come back to center. Raise your arms up above your head. Find buoyancy between your legs. So you're scissoring your legs together, right? And on your next inhale, you're going to take this pose, and then you're going to launch forward into Warrior 3. So bring your arms out in front of you, coming parallel with the earth. Your left leg raises up. Drop your left hip, though, so your hips are in line with each other, so your sacrum is level. If I put your water bottle on your back, it would stay right there. Take any arm variation you choose. You could take your arms behind you in a bind. Heart center, Superman arms. Breathe. Firm foundation through your right foot, and firm through your left, the one that's lifted. If you come out of it, just come right back in. It's okay. On your next inhale, come back to standing. Reach your arms up overhead, gazing up at your fingertips. And exhale, forward fold all the way down to your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, creating space. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank, or float back to chaturanga and vinyasa. I will meet you in downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale your left leg up and back behind you, lifting up through the inside of your thigh, all toes facing the earth. Exhale, plant your foot between your hands. Have your fingertips off the mat just a little bit, and then inhale your arms up, high lunge. Biceps reaching towards your face, pinkies facing each other. Again, bend your back knee a little bit so you can draw your tailbone down, pull your belly in, and then re-straighten your leg even more powerful, even more sturdy. Breathe. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale to prepare, and on your exhale, twist to the other side of the room, hooking your right elbow and over your left thigh. Stacking your elbow, stacking your shoulders. Once you're here, extend your left arm up to the sky and your right arm down, pressing your arm into your shin into your arm. It's going to give you more leverage so you can open your heart. Gaze up to the sky. Breathe. Find the power that you're creating. Tap into it. Take your arms back together. Come back to your high lunge through center, arms up. Again, find buoyancy between your two legs. And on your next inhale, launch into Warrior 3. Coming forward, lifting your right leg up off the earth, dropping your right hip so it's in line with your left. Eventually coming parallel. Take an arm variation of your choice. It could be the same on this side. It might be different. Our sides of our body are different. So it's okay. Continue to take deep breaths. Press through that lifted leg. And on your next inhale, come up to standing gently. Gaze up at your hands overhead. And exhale, swan dive all the way down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, creating space in your spine. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Step back to plank, float back to chaturanga. And vinyasa, one movement to each of your own breath. And I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. And exhale, plant it between your hands. Pop your left foot in about 6 inches and spin it down at a 45-degree angle. Square your hips at the front of the room and straighten your right leg, coming into pyramid pose. So you're pressing equally through both of your feet. As you inhale, you lengthen your spine to the front of the room. And as you exhale, you can fold a little bit further over your straightened leg at the front. Draw your right hip bone back. Draw your left hip forward. You can choose to use a block here if you want the ground to just be a little bit closer, if it's going to help you. With every inhalation, your spine is longer. With every exhalation, you fold a little bit deeper. Continue making micro adjustments with your hips. Continue pressing through the razor edge of your left foot as much as through your front foot. Bend your right knee. Hop your left foot in a little bit closer. Take your left hand to your left hip. Plant your right hand about 10 inches in front of your right foot. And on your next inhale, launch into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, stacking your left hip on top of your right, balancing on your right foot and your right hand, stacking your left shoulders on top of your right shoulder. Once you've got the stack, then extend your left arm up to the sky. Breathe. Continue stacking your hips, your shoulders, flexing through your back foot as strong as the one you're standing on. Gaze up at your fingertips if you'd like another challenge. If you're strong here, go further and hover your fingertips off the earth. Use a block here if that will help you. Find your edge, find the place where you're shaky. On your next exhale, bring your left hand down to the earth, but keep your leg lifted, dropping your hip so it's in line with the other, and lift through the inside of your thigh. Standing splits. Inhale as you become long. Exhale, you fold over your standing leg. Breathe. Lift your heel just a little bit higher. Now bend both of your knees and come up to standing. Bring your left knee up so it's in line with your hips. Reach your arms up above you and extend your left leg out in front of you. On your next exhale, bring your left foot down to meet your right. Hands to heart center. Breathe. Reach your arms out and up, gazing up at your fingertips, upward prayer pose. Exhale, swan dive all the way down to your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, create space, and on your exhale, plant your hands. And then step back to plank, float back to chaturanga, optional vinyasa. I'll see you in downward facing dog. Nice options. Breathe. Come back to your intention. Inhale your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, plant it between your hands. Pop your right foot in about 6 inches, spin it down a 45-degree angle, and then straighten your left leg so your hands are still on either side of your front leg. Even out your hips. So now you're going to be drawing your left hip back, your right hip forward, pressing through both of your feet. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Crown of your head goes to the front of the room, and as you exhale, you fold over that straightened leg. Keep making micro adjustments. Breathe. Come back to your intention. Keep a micro bend in your front knee. Now bend your left knee, pop in your right leg just a little bit, take your right hand to your right hip, plant your left hand about 10 inches in front of your left foot, and on your next inhale, inhale up into Ardha Chandrasana. So stacking your right hip on top of your left, your shoulders on top of each other, reach your elbow on your back, and once you've got that, inhale your arm up to the sky. Breathe. Once you've got stability here, send your gaze upward, and if this is going great for you, hover your fingertips off the earth as well. Again, find your edge, find the place where you're shaky, where you can grow. If you fall, it's okay, it's not too far. And on your next exhale, place your right hand down onto the earth, but keep your right leg lifted, lifting up through the inside of your thigh, dropping your right hip. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. You can challenge your balance by bringing your left hand behind your left shin. Eventually, the only thing on the ground is going to be that one foot. Lift your heel a little bit higher. Now bend both of your knees. Come up to standing. Your right knee parallel to your hip. Reach your arms up above you. And extend your right leg out in front of you. Breathe. On your next exhale, bring your foot down, hands to heart center. Breathe, come to your intention. Reset. Inhale, reach your arms out and up above you. On your exhale, swan dive down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Plank or chaturanga and vinyasa, always optional. I'll see you in downward facing dog. Keeping your elbows in close to your body, fingertips wide. Breathe. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, plant it between your hands. Pop your left foot in about 6 inches, spin it down at a 45-degree angle, and this time take your right hand to your right hip. And your left hand is going to be on the left side of your foot, on top of your foot, or if you're very flexible, on the outside of your right foot. Begin to turn your chest to the right side of the room, stacking your shoulders, opening your heart, maintaining a straight leg. So if you need to hop in your other foot a little bit more so that you can be completely on the ground, do so, make any adjustments you need. And once you've got your shoulders stacked, inhale your right arm up to the sky, sending your gaze upward. Continue working on your hips to level them so your sacrum is level. Breathe. On your next exhale, bring your hand back down to your mat, recenter. Pop in your left foot again. Take your right hand to your right hip once more. And this time you're going to plant your left hand out in front of your right knee, bend your knee deeply. And we're going to launch into revolved half moon. So you lift up your left leg. You're going to stack your right shoulder on top of your left. Reach your arm up to the sky. See if you can keep your lifted legs straight. Just breathe. Blocks are really helpful in this pose. Detoxifying, a few requests for that today. On your next exhale, bring your right arm down to the earth, standing splits. Lift your left leg up high. And exhale, set it down. Walk out your legs just a little bit. Plant your hands into the mat. And then step back to plank or float back to chaturanga and vinyasa. Beautiful. Take a moment in downward facing dog to find your first down dog of the day, opening your hips wide, pressing through all 4 corners of your hands, wide fingertips. Breathe. Inhale your left leg up and back behind you, and exhale, plant it between your hands. Move your right foot in about 6 inches, spin it down at a 45-degree angle. Straighten your left leg. Take your left hand to your left hip. Take your right hand either to the right of your foot, top of your foot, or to the left. Revolve triangle. As you inhale, your spine lengthens. Exhale, you find your space. Once you've got your shoulders stacked on top of each other, lift your left arm up to the sky. Continue to draw your left hip back, your right hip forward. Breathe. Keep your shoulder blades away from your ears, draw them back. And on your next exhale, come back to center. Bend your left knee, pop in your right foot a little bit. Again, take your left hand to your left hip, plant your right hand in front of your left foot, and then inhale up into Ardha Chandrasana, revolved. Once you've got your shoulders stacked, then inhale your left arm up to the sky, palm facing the left side of the room, lifting your leg. Breathe. You guys are really strong. Keep twisting. On your next exhale, bring your left hand down to the earth. Keep your leg lifted. Lift up through your inner thigh. And on your next exhale, place your right foot next to your left and forward fold. Walk out your legs just a little bit. Plant your hands into the mat. Step back into a plank position or float back to chaturanga, optional vinyasa. Nice. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, plant it between your hands. Ground firmly through your left hand into your mat and then peel your right arm up to the sky. Opening your chest, opening your heart, gaze up. Breathe. Spin all your toes to the right side of the room. So you're going to come onto the razor edge of your left foot, lifting your hips high. Good stretch in your hips here, your IT band. And if you're strong here and you want to go further, take your right foot and stack it on top of your left into Vashisthasana, side plank. And if this is going well, lift your right leg up, flexing your foot. Gaze up, breathe. On your next exhale, take your right hand down to the earth, vinyasa. See if you can do it with one leg, with your right leg still lifted. Always optional. Nice choices. See you in downward dog. Breathe. Inhale your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, plant it between your hands. Ground firmly through your right hand, and then peel your left hand up to the sky, gazing up at your fingertips. Opening your heart. And spin all toes to the other side of the room, so you come onto the razor edge of your right foot. Lift your hips high for an additional stretch. And if you did it on one side, send your left foot on top of your right, side plank. Continue to lift your hips high. And for an additional challenge, lift your leg, flexed foot, breathe. Gaze up at your fingertips. Find your edge. On your next exhale, bring your hand down to the earth. And vinyasa, maybe chaturanga with one leg lifted. Bring your knees to the earth and send your hips back to child's pose. Just breathe. Slow your breath, control your breath. Come back to your intention.